So you heard in the previous video that one of the unique properties of water is that water is less dense as a solid than it is as a liquid, which means that ice floats on top of the water, on top of liquid water. Another property of water is said to have a high heat capacity. What does that mean? Well, heat capacity is the ability of something to absorb or release heat without much of a change in temperature. So something that has a high heat capacity like water, that means that it's able to absorb a lot of heat and without much of a change in temperature. And the reason for this is, again, goes back to the hydrogen bonds that are formed from the polarity of water. As you add heat to water, that heat is actually used to break the hydrogen bonds first before the temperature of the water actually starts to increase. So energy actually has to go into breaking the hydrogen bonds first before it can start like speeding up the movement of the water molecules and increasing the temperature of the water. So because of those hydrogen bonds, water is again able to have another unique property that is actually also very, very important for the things that live in the ocean. What this means is that because water has a high heat capacity, it doesn't change temperature very much. So a lot of animals that live in the ocean are what we call ectothermic, meaning that their body temperatures depend on the surrounding water temperatures. And so if there was a big rapid change in the temperature of the water, the animal's body temperatures would change along with that change in temperature. And most animals wouldn't be able to survive because they have a very narrow range of temperatures that they can survive in. So water, having a high heat capacity, is able to maintain a constant temperature, which is perfect for the things that live in the ocean. And you on land actually benefit from this property as well. The ocean is actually helps to regulate the temperature of coastal cities. So during the summer, it's hot out, okay, the sun's out, and during the summer, the ocean, if you're close to the ocean, will absorb a lot of that energy from the sun. So because water has a high heat capacity. Land does not. So land will absorb very little heat and change temperature very, very rapidly. So water during the winter or summer, the water of the ocean will absorb the heat, okay, and as it absorbs the heat, it doesn't change the temperature of the water very much, but it helps to cool off the land that is near the ocean by absorbing that heat. During the winter, that water can then release the heat, and it will help to keep the land that is closer to the ocean warmer because it's releasing some of that heat. And again, the water temperature doesn't change that much. And it's able to help keep the land that's close to the ocean warmer. So that's why like areas that are closer to the ocean tend to have more of a temperate climate. So they don't have much of a big swing in temperatures, like from really, really hot to really, really cold very quickly, because the ocean near there helps to regulate that temperature. So here's kind of a picture to help you see this. This is a comparison between Los Angeles and Bakersfield, which is Los Angeles is close to the ocean and Bakersfield is a much farther inland city. So you can see this is from January to December, and this compares the average temperatures of the month in each place. So Los Angeles is in blue, Bakersfield is in red, and you can see, so you can kind of trace the path. And Los Angeles, I mean, doesn't change temperature much throughout the year. Okay, it's got a very, very like gentle slope. Whereas if you look at Bakersfield, okay, just farther away from the ocean, it's going to have a much more dramatic temperature change. So what you actually get is about a 14-degree temperature difference between, you know, January and July in Los Angeles, and about a 35-degree difference in Bakersfield. So the ocean helps to actually moderate the temperature of land that's close to the ocean. Another property of water is surface tension. So surface tension simply means that water molecules are more attracted to themselves or to each other than they are to the air. And so that will actually create like a skin on the surface of the water, and we call that surface tension. And some animals can actually take advantage of this. So like water skimmers can actually rest on the surface tension of the water. They're not breaking the surface. They're not actually floating. They're actually resting on the surface tension, so which is great. You'll also read about in your book some other properties of water, but these are just a few that you should know.